Welcome back, everyone. This week we are moving into the world of spreadsheets. Right now you can see that I'm in what we call a Google Sheets document, I guess. This is very similar to Microsoft Excel. Maybe you've used Microsoft Excel before. Why do we use these programs? Basically because adding up numbers is really boring and it's fraught with danger. We can make little arithmetic mistakes while we're tallying up numbers or while we're multiplying numbers. And that gets more and more likely that we're going to make a mistake the longer our list of numbers becomes. So what we do instead is we use technology, and that helps us save a little bit of time and ensures that we're less likely to make mistakes. All right, so these are similar sorts of problems to the ones that you're going to be doing this week, guys, but we've changed the numbers just a little bit. Okay, first job, work out Bob's wage for the week. So you can see that Bob was working Monday through to Friday, and he worked this number of hours. First thing you could do is you could just drag down here. You could click in here and sort of drag down. And you can see down in the bottom corner of my screen, the bottom right corner, it's saying that the sum of those hours is 29. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could put a 29 here. That's all well and good, but then someone else who's looking at your spreadsheet might not necessarily know where that number's come from. So instead of doing it that way, what I reckon is better is, can we put a formula in this cell that will tell us what the sum is? Okay, so we're going to click equals, and it's actually suggesting exactly the formula that we want. Let's just pretend that that suggestion hasn't come up. Okay, we want to sum some numbers. So we open our brackets and we're saying, where are we starting and where are we ending? Well, we're starting with the first of those fours, the 4 hours that he did on the Monday. So that's in column C and it's in row 6. So we're going from column C, row 6, and then we use the colon key or the colon symbol to say where are we going to. All right, so we want to tally all the way up to that second 4 hours that he worked, which is on Friday. That's in column C, row 10. Okay, and you always close your brackets. Click enter, and we've got the same result, but now someone can look in there and say, oh, yeah, that's the sum from C6 to C10. Cool. Now, in this column here, we want to put how much money did he earn. Given that he's earning $17 an hour, you can see that on Monday he earned 4 times 17. So you could go to your calculator, you could work that out, and you could plug that in there. But of course, there's a better way of doing it. So we're going to write equals, and it's going to be, all right, the number of hours is in column C, row 6, and we're multiplying that by 17, because that's how much he's earning every hour. And it's saying, oh, look, $68 is what he earned that day. In this one here, it's the similar sort of thing, not exactly the same, but similar. So it's going to be column C, row 7, multiplied by 17. So he made a bit more money that day. Once you've got a general sort of pattern going, what you can do is you can select those two, and you can just sort of drag down. And it's saying, oh yeah, on Wednesday, because he did 8 hours, he made $136. Let's see if that actually rings true. Is that truly the case? Is it true that 8 times 17 is 136? Yes, it is. Okay, that's good. All right, so that's, once you've got a general pattern going, you can select and you can drag from the bottom corner and just drag down. You want to make sure that it's dragging down correctly though, if that makes sense. Okay, now, how are we going to tally up these? Pause the video and think about that, and think, what are we going to put in this cell right here? Okay, keen to see what you guys came up with for that. So let's have a look. It's going to be a sum, isn't it? And we're going from whatever's in column D, row 6, all the way up to whatever's in column D, row 10. So there you go. Good old Bob earned about $500 that week. He earned $493. Okay. Let's have a look at this one. So what about Frank? Frank is earning $21 an hour. he's working 38 hours a week. So in the first 12 weeks of the year, how many hours did he work? Well, that's going to be 12 times 38, isn't it? And I mean, you could write it that way, 12 times 38. Or if you wanted to be a bit more fancy, you could say 12 times column C, row 3. Because after all, there's a 38 in column C, row 3 as well. That's another way that you can do it. Okay, what about for the remainder of the year? Okay, so it's going to be 40 more weeks, isn't it? Okay, 40 more weeks at that earning rate. And then what are we going to put here, guys? Pause the video and have a think about that. Yep, it's a sum. Very good. It's a sum, and we're going from column C, row 7 to column C, row 8. In fact, that's interesting. So he's done almost 2,000 hours that year. We could have done this slightly differently this time because there's only two numbers that we want to sum up. Instead of saying from C7 to C8, you could just simply separate these by a comma and say, I want to add whatever's in C7 to whatever's in C8. And you get the same result. Okay, what about the pay? Well, this is just going to be this $21 here multiplied by whatever's in over here, isn't it? So it's going to be whatever's in C7 multiplied by 21. Oh, he did pretty well for himself. And this time I will just say, yes, I'm pretty confident that that's right. I guess I should probably check and just have a quick look. Is it truly the case that 1978 times 38 is this big number here? Have I got that right? So 1976 times 21. Yep. Sorry, I put it into my calculator wrong the first time around. So he's making about, let's call it $41,000 that year. All right, one more. Let's do one more of these and then we'll call it. So this one's to do with commission. Some workers earn money by commission. Basically, the more stuff that they sell, they get a cut of that. So it's in their interest to sell more and more and more. Okay, so you can see here that Alice is actually earning a commission of 10%. Okay, now 10%, think about what 10% really means. 10% means 10 per 100. So 10 divided by 100. So another way of thinking about 10% is 0.1. Okay, so if she makes $6,680 of sales in week 1, we need to multiply that number by 0.1 to work out what her commission was in that week. Okay, so in here, in this cell here, we're going to go, look, we want whatever's in column C, row 6, and we're going to multiply that by 0.1. And it works out nicely, actually. $668 is obviously 10% of $6,680. And look at that. It was good enough to fill it all in for us. So you've got to be a little bit cautious, as I keep saying, with autofill, because sometimes it doesn't quite understand what it is that you want to do. For instance, right here, you can see there's a problem. Obviously, the total is wrong here. But I guess that's because I haven't put a sum in over here. So what are we going to put in this cell in column C, row 10? Pause the video and think about that. Yeah, this is going to be a sum. And we are going to go from column C, row 6, all the way through to column C, row 9. That's what we're summing up. And now it's actually fixed its autofill over here, which makes me feel much happier. So this, in 4 weeks, Alice was able to make through commission about $3,000. So that's good for Alice.